Hey guys, this is Dr. Laura Koniver, and today I'm in a hotel room because I am at a medical conference in the beautiful mountains of Asheville, North Carolina. I just wanted to create a follow-up video on my previous video showing how an AC current travels up a ground cord on a standard ground line, and how we don't want an AC current constantly from a man-made electrical appliance and a man-made electrical wiring to constantly run through our body while we're grounding. So, which it does in standard ground cords. So I have a typical earthing mat that is sold all over the world, and I don't love these because, first of all, it's vinyl, which means it's sitting in a landfill for another 500 years after we die, and I don't think that's a great way to thank Mother Nature if I'm reaching out to the planet to support my health. I don't really want to use materials that aren't eco-friendly and that are toxic, and of course I don't necessarily want to be surrounded by more plastic, and it's also hot and uncomfortable. But I'm using this to show, because I got a lot of questions saying, is the same thing in my old video true with the standard ground cord that has a snap? And so I'm going to show you. I don't think we should have AC current running through our body, which is why I developed the Pure ground cord, which is a white ground cord, and it terminates in an alligator clip so that it is compatible with basically any grounding tool. You can just clip it on the edge and you'll be grounded instead of using the snap. Simple fix, simple switch. So first I'm going to test the standard ground cord. I took off my Pure ground cord, and this is my Pure ground test meter to show if I'm grounded, and it works for standard cords and it works for the Pure ground cord. So with this meter, it's going to make a tone when I'm not grounded, and it's going to switch to a green light, and the tone will go away to show me I'm grounded. So not grounded, and touching the mat, I'm grounded. Not grounded, and grounded. So now let's just double check the Pure ground cord to show you that you can ground. Take off the standard clip, and now I have, here, I'll just put this over here. Now I have my Pure ground cord connected instead, and let's just double check that that's also grounding me. So not grounded, grounded. Not grounded, grounded. Okay, so now let's test the electrical field, that AC current that I don't want going into our bodies, running through a standard ground mat. So I have this is an electrical field meter, and I love it because it's very sensitive. There's other meters I'm going to show you at the end of the video that measure other types of EMF frequencies that we don't want running through our body. And this does also check for electrical fields, but it's not as sensitive. So you have to get right up on a plug to really show the spike that you're being exposed to. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to use this really nice sensitive electric field test meter, which shows when I'm around an AC current that I don't want to be around. So hopefully you can see, certainly you can hear that it's warning me that the levels are in the caution zone that I don't want to be exposed to for prolonged periods of time. And unfortunately, when I'm grounding, say I'm sleeping on this mat for 7 hours every night, that's the current I'm exposed to all night long. So it would be green if there wasn't a dangerous level of current running through it. I hope you can see that. It's hard to tell in a video. The next is a caution when it gets in a range that's not good for biologic living tissues like the human being. And then danger is when any exposure is toxic to us. The caution means you don't want to be in prolonged electrical fields that are that strong for more than, a half hour or a few hours a day, which unfortunately we are when we're just, even your lamp by your bed is got an electrical field, as does your grounding tool. So we don't want to do that for hours and hours and hours. So hopefully you can hear and see that red caution, we're in the zone where it's not instantly toxic to us, but we certainly don't want to be in this field for hours. And it's not just at the cord, but when you're grounding a grounding tool, it's now all the way down the tool. Doesn't matter how far you go. It's running the current through this entire pad now. And then the scary thing to me is what happens when I touch it. People who don't understand how electricity works, they say it's neutralized, because when I touch this, you're going to see that it stops this meter from going off. But the reason it stopped is because now this AC current, I'm electrical, I'm conductive, my skin is, and every cell in my body is. So now I'm going to be running this current into me. So this Pure ground cord has a filter at the plug that blocks the AC current from traveling up the cord, and then it's also shielded. This white covering is a shield that prevents it from resonating with all of the ambient EMFs in the room, right? So let's just double check that the pure ground cord is still grounding me. So I'm not grounded, and now I'm grounded. So you don't need that AC current. That's not what's grounding you. You can block the AC current and still be grounded fully, okay? But let's just make sure that the AC current is actually being blocked. So here it is at the same clip where it was lighting up before and you could hear the tone and the red light was coming on, and now it's just the green light. And all the way down here and all the way down here, it's just the green light. And down here, just the green light. So the AC current, hopefully you can see that in the video, the AC current is not running through this pad. So I don't have to worry about, is it now entering my body, right? It's just not. It's not even in the product. So the next tool I want to use to show you is this awesome meter that tests for more than just electrical fields. I'm going to turn it on, but it's confusing because it has 3 different lights, but it's the most simple meter. There's a lot of acoustimeters out there, and they have just digital displays and readouts and that kind of thing, and I find that to be overwhelming, and the majority of my patients and customers find that a little overwhelming to read. So I found this test meter that is just so much more easy to interpret. It just, on the top, it shows magnetic fields, which are going to be like your power lines. So in this hotel room, it's interesting, am I near any power lines when I turn it on? The electric field, but I didn't use this to test this because it is not as sensitive. This is way more sensitive. This is telling me when I'm in a range that is not biologically healthy for my tissues. This is only going to tell me when I'm really close to a plug, you know, like an outlet or something that's really strong, then it'll start going up. But I wanted to be more sensitive and show you that the pure ground cord really does block even small amounts of that AC current from running through your ground tool. And then the last one, the reason we're going to use it right now is to show, this is showing the high frequency waves. That's like your cell phone, that's like your computer. It's going to light up because of course I'm using a computer right now to record, right? So this is going to go really high. Also in a hotel, there's just no way to not be around this Wi-Fi. And I want to show you because for some reason there is this misconception that when you're grounded, you're protected from all of that, and that's not the case. Unfortunately, when you're grounded, you either have the option of being grounded with an AC current running through you and still being exposed to the Wi-Fi, or you have the option of at least blocking the AC current, but you're still going to be exposed to all the Wi-Fi and high-frequency e-smog that if you're electrically hypersensitive, and I believe we all are, whether we can feel it or not, it's not healthy for our biological tissues. So we really want to do the extra step of being shielded. So I don't feel it's appropriate anymore to just offer grounding tools. I believe we want to ground in a protected way, and then we want to shield from the ambient EMFs that are in every environment. It's almost impossible to escape, right? So let me show you that. Let's go back to the standard ground cord. Okay, so I clipped that right back on for you right here with the standard cord and using the snap. And I want to show that I'm grounded. Okay, I'm grounded. I've got an AC current running through it, unfortunately. And when I touch it, I now have an AC current running through me. And also, we're going to turn this meter on. I'm going to show you what's happening in this hotel room right now. So magnetic fields aren't too bad. Being away from outlets and away from you know, the lamps, and this is not a super sensitive way to test the electrical activity in a room, but right now it's decently good. But of course you can see, can you see that the Wi-Fi is, it can't go higher on this meter. So it's probably so high, it's off the charts, but this is, it's just saying it's at maximum. I couldn't possibly be more exposed, and it can't show me anything stronger than it's showing me right now. So I don't love it, but this is what we got in society, right? This is what we almost all have when we're working, when we're traveling, even when we're home, when we're sleeping. So when I'm grounded, that doesn't change the myth that when you're grounded, you don't have to worry about and you're magically in this Faraday cage that's protecting you is not true. The illusion, when it runs into my body, is that I'm protected because my body is now neutralizing that AC current, so it's not showing up on the meter. My body, my immune function, my cardiovascular system, my skin, my neurology is all absorbing that AC current, giving it the illusion that it's being taken care of, but it's being taken care of by the wear and tear on my body. And then certainly none of it is changed at all by being grounded through a standard ground cord. In regards to the high frequency exposures that we're around and that are only going to increase with 5G, right? So I'm doing this to really encourage you to consider shielding on top of grounding. It's a two-pronged approach. We're completely conductive human beings. Every cell in our body I've talked about this in almost every video I've ever made. We're so conductive, and that's the strength in our healing, because we can touch the earth or we can use a grounding tool, and we're getting that conductive support in being stabilized, in being grounded, in off-gassing stress and inflammation, and being neutralized and equilibrated with the earth. But while doing that, even through my pure ground cord, the pure ground cord will now stop the AC current from being an exposure at least. At least now I'm not running a current through here. But it's the same thing. It's still going to be this Wi-Fi signal. So what's my status right now? So the power line, not too bad. Electrical, not too bad right here in the center of the room. The Wi-Fi off the charts. And even through my pure ground cord, it's not going to take away the ambient e-smog that we're around all day long and all night long. So I want to ground. I want to remove the current from my ground tool, but I also want to be shielded. So I want to wear shielding clothing. I want to sleep under a shielding blanket. And I also want to be aware of trying to decrease the exposures as much as possible, like putting a cover over my Wi-Fi router to decrease the signal strength, because it doesn't have to be maximum, it just has to be functional, right? So I want to decrease the strength, the signal strength, to the amount where I can still use my cell phone and use my computer and function and work, but I don't have to overly irradiate my body. So in my shop, I have cell phone cases that help protect. I have laptop covers, I have router covers, but I also have, and I really truly believe, the second prong of this conductivity that we have that keeps us healthy, but also makes us susceptible to exposures, environmental e-smog exposures that are on the rise, is I want to protect and cover myself as much as possible. So I want to sleep under that shielding blanket. I'm coming out with shielding robe that you can just wrap yourself in and sleep in and throw on over any clothing you have when you're home. You can use a protective clothing, garments, undergarments, tank tops, sweatshirts. I have all of these things available to you in my shop. Also, I have a cream that's got silver in it that decreases, my studies show that it cuts your radiation in about half, the cream that I have right now. It's a silver gel. It's completely transparent. You can put it on all of your skin, and it should decrease about in half, depending on user use and how much you put on. It should decrease the amount of radiation going into my body through my incidental skin exposures in about half. So on areas where you can't totally shield with a blanket, you may want to use this cream. And I'm also in development for a stronger cream that should cut it even more. So I'm looking to cut radiation exposures on areas that are harder to block with shielding by as much as 80-90%. And I'm in development of that cream right now. So I'd love to invite you to come over to my website and sign up for my newsletter, because then you'll know, and you'll be the first to know, when this new shielding cream is released. I anticipate it to be released this winter, certainly definitely by this spring. But if you want to have the option to have a really nice cream, lotion, think of it like sun protection. We know that we have a constant source of radiation, right? Those UV rays that are outside by the sun. Well, it's still healthy to be outside, but of course we want to be smart about it. We want to wear sunglasses to protect our eyes from chronic UV exposure. We generally wear rash guards or some kind of sunscreen on our skin to protect ourselves from DNA damage and skin cancer. And I think we have to start thinking about electrical smog and Wi-Fi and high-frequency radiation, similar to how we already do think about it with the sun, okay? So we're just going to have to get into this habit, and certainly, hopefully, a decade from now, this is very normal, which is, instead of just worrying about the sun and putting sunglasses on and a hat and sunscreen, we're going to use shielding clothing when we go out and about. We're going to shield our home and our rooms as much as very possible and sleep shielded, and we're going to be cognizant of going out and putting our shielding creams on so that we really decrease the damage that's done by things that we can't always control, which is our external environment. I can't go in and make this hotel shut down its Wi-Fi. So I didn't sleep very well last night, and I'm probably not going to sleep very well tonight. But if I have a shielding blanket and I put my shielding lotion on and I sleep grounded through a cord that's blocking that AC current from running up to me, I can really get into a restorative state where even in a very modern society, I can protect my innate natural health. And so part of that is grounding, and an equal part of that is shielding. So you can find solutions to both on my website at intuition-physician.com. And I'm also going to post links to tons of other articles and videos I've already made on this topic so that you have plenty of resources to figure out how do I decrease my exposures in my own home? How do I decrease my exposures when I go out and about so that I feel the best I can feel? Because we all have an innate health, and if we're protecting our innate health, it can shine. But when we're allowing external environmental toxins to pollute us constantly, it's super stressful. It's exhausting, and you can feel it. And if you're electrohypersensitive, you can literally feel it, and you can feel sicker when you ground, when that AC current's running through your body, than when you don't have that AC current running through your body. So if you ground and you notice that you don't feel as good, try upgrading to this pure ground cord, and also add the component of shielding, because that is often the missing piece when people don't understand why they don't know this immediate benefit when they're grounded. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and tons more to come. And I'm going to go head back to my conference, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you so much.